Back in '05, my family acquired this property, and my dad said, "Son, I'll never live long enough for this to be nice." And we kept working and we kept nurturing. And one of the wishes that my dad had, he said, "You do what it takes to ensure that this will be in habitat forever." When I whispered to him on one of his last days that that conservation easement had finalized, and he got a little light in his eyes, and he smiled at me and he whispered, "Good job, son."
Prairie in Minnesota is a very rare ecosystem. There's only about 1% of the remnant prairie left in the state. Scott has some of that remnant prairie on his property, and he also has some really excellent restored prairie on this property as well. So anytime we can permanently protect prairie, that's a really high priority for the Land Trust. Prairies and grasslands like this are important, especially for the pollinators. And in this part of the state where the majority of the land has been converted to agriculture, all the animals and plants that live in the prairie just have less of a place to be.
Conservation easements are a great way to preserve space for wildlife. They are voluntary, permanent agreements that allow landowners to protect their land while continuing to use it. And there may be financial benefits available. And when we connect protected habitats, wildlife has even more space to thrive.
I talked to a couple of my neighbors. I said, "I am investigating a conservation easement with the Minnesota Land Trust. Would you like to talk to them?" And at the end of the day, not only did we enroll my parcel, but both the neighbor to the north of me and one to the east enrolled. And so we were able, in a very intensive ag part of Minnesota, to permanently protect close to 400 acres. We have compressed wildlife into narrow corridors. Songbird populations are off 60% in almost all cases. Perpetual easements are the only way to ensure that wild places stay there, they stay wild, and that nobody will ever be able to convert them. I can't imagine anything more satisfying than allowing wildlife to expand and take a deep breath. If you step into the conservation arena, the satisfaction that results from that is indescribable, and I don't know any other way to achieve anything that makes me feel as good as that does.
Nature moves us in such powerful ways. You can feel good about protecting your land too. And you can continue to hunt, hike, fish, and even share it with others if you choose to, just like Scott does. Contact the Minnesota Land Trust today to see if your property qualifies for one of our grant-funded easement programs. Protecting nature just feels good. Let's get started today.